Welcome, everybody. It's your girl, Delores, just the pink girl in my pink world, here on every social platform. What my good brother, J News. J News, you got something to say to the good people?
Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, ladies and gents. We're back at it again here on the Hit the Ropes podcast, talking to you about everything that was in the week of pro wrestling. We got our thoughts on certain things that happened this week. We're going to give you the rundown as to what the results and the happenings were between all the major wrestling promotions. So stay tuned and listen up.
Yes, ladies and gentlemen, I won't be getting too in detail because, as you all know, I have been sick as a dog. But I've been watching wrestling and finding some of this stuff a little interesting, okay? So let's go on to the Hit the Rope Studios podcast. Yep, ladies and gentlemen, here we are over here. Me and J News, we had to come on over here late. But you already know what time is it. What time is it? Time for review. Review. Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to start off with WWE. We also going to start out with Dolores blowing her screen up because y'all don't know I'm already blind and I'm fighting a good fight. Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to go to Monday Night Raw. It was 17-3 on the 12th on Netflix. We had Javon Evans defeating Bravo Americano. We had for the WWE Women's Tag Team title #1 contendership triple threat match, the Judgment Day of Liv Morgan and Roxanne Perez defeating Bayley and Lyra Valkyria, and the Kabuki Warriors of Asuka and Kairi Sane. We had Dragon Lee and Penta defeat the Vision of Austin Theory and Bronson Reed by DQ. We had Gunther defeating AJ Styles. And all I got to say to that, ladies and gentlemen, you already know when y'all beat Uncle, some people call him Uncle Allen, I get a little upset on the inside and I want to fight people. But you know, all I can do, J News. Doing him like that, he going out crazy. J News, you got any thoughts about this?
Not necessarily. Raw kind of passed me by this week outside of understanding what they're, or trying to understand, should I say, what they're trying to do with Walter this year and how it's gonna go. What they're planning on doing with AJ Styles, being that he's gonna retire at some point this year. And now Dragon Lee is being paired with Penta. These easily interchangeable pieces and tag teams. Even though I should be used to it due to my propensity of watching Japanese wrestling, it's like it's just not the same when it comes to American wrestling and stuff like that. So when I see so much change in the tag team division with the partners and stuff like that, it kind of just turns me off to it. There's no real point of engagement with a team if teams are just going to always change and stuff like that. Outside of that, yeah, I ain't got much else.
When it comes to Gunther, the first time I had an inkling. The second time it happened, I knew what it was. He is turning into old school Randy Orton, the legend killer. And he is going to be retiring people. And so the AJ Styles match is set up for eventually he's going to retire AJ. And he's going to be out here taking legends out one at a time. And I noticed that the Gunther match, I was like, oh, okay. I'm glad he won. But when it came to the John Cena match, I was like, and then he started doing the promos where he's like, y'all hate me because I took out your favorites. Why are you mad at me? And I'm like, oh, I remember when Randy used to do that. And I also remember when Randy used to punch people in the head. Now listen, uh, full disclosure, that is not right to do, but I love to see it every time he do it. Especially when he did this Stephanie McMahon and Triple H was tied in the corner. He just full force punch. Because I be wondering if they could show me behind the scenes, how do you pull a punch to somebody's head? Because he don't be moving in slow motion.
Yeah, it's really more or less as to where people. I think if folks have if they look at the camera shot directly where the foot actually lands in comparison to where it's supposed to go,
Yeah,
right?
I know it doesn't land directly, but that still hurts.
Oh
That
yeah, yeah, yeah,
still
yeah. There's
like
there yeah,
because
there's no way around it. Yeah.
it's not like like with a super kick, you slap your leg or something. He's making that noise from kicking you,
Mhm.
and he's going full in. Like I think the only time I've seen him kind of light up on a kick was I think that was like Linda McMahon, and he's even said he didn't like doing that. But like kicking Vince, kicking Stephanie, kicking that, you hear the noise once the foot hit contact. I'm like, I wouldn't know. I wouldn't even take a chance because what if I accidentally move or you get a little shaky and you just kick me all in my mouth? We can't do that. Can't do that. I trust you, but I don't trust you that much. Ladies and gentlemen, we're gonna go way back in the playback. We're gonna move on to NXT, ladies and gentlemen. NXT, it was 8:20. We can get on to the slide. 8:20 on the 13th on the CW. We had Lola Vice defeating Kalani Jordan. We have the WWE Speed title match. Jasper Troy defeated Tavion Heights. For the TNA International title match, Channing Lorenzo defeated Shiloh Hill. In a no disqualification match, Joe Hendry defeated Dion Lennox. I just want to say Shiloh Hill is very, this character is crazy, J News. I don't know what to think of them. He's crazy. He crazy.
Yeah. I mean, at the end of the day, um, the only thing that I paid attention to or that came to light for me about NXT this week was the return of Miss Parker. Outside of that, I didn't really pay attention to anything else. Um, and it seems like I mean, from an overall booking standpoint, it seems like they're setting Ricky Starks back up to be NXT champion. There's going to be some sort of a multi-man ladder match for the NXT championship, being that it was vacated by Obafemi. There was this big brawl after the no disqualification main event between all the you can just say the male talent in NXT, not necessarily that they're all single stars, but there was a big kerfuffle after the main event and things of that nature. And we saw the debut of some of the young guys from Evolve, and then um, on NXT screens and things of that nature. So we'll see as to how that develops and who's going to end up being involved in that match. Folks seem to be leaning positive on Channing Lorenzo's new path with his new, I guess you can call her, valet outside of him, her actually being his real life girlfriend and Ariana Grace. People seem to be positive on his new path for character work and stuff like that. So we'll see as to how that goes. Still not a big fan of Jasper Troy. That's me specifically. I have other visions for who Tavion Heights can be, but that's not necessarily the WWE motto. And Lola Vice versus Kalani Jordan. I mean, it was what it was. At the end of the day, Lola gets a win. I'm not sure as to what importance it has towards any of the women's championships in NXT, but hopefully they start to pay a little bit more attention to Lola and see as to where they can take her in the coming
Yeah.
weeks and months.
I think the Channing Lorenzo or Ariana Grace thing is kind of, I could be remembering the two wrong. My mind is scrambled. But Killer Kelly and Myron Reed, you know how they always like kissy huggy on
Yeah.
indie event. Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah, like that. That's
Okay.
how they are kind of portraying them as like this lovey-dovey couple. Which for me, I do appreciate like on-screen romances sometimes, but
Mhm.
sometimes it's very awkward when you have an on-screen romance and then it goes the crap and you have to somehow work it in the storyline. That's why I think unless they're married, it's not working.
Mhm.
Because I still to this day am weirded out at that like interaction that they had like a couple of months ago with John Cena and Nikki Bella was standing there and I'm looking at them like, y'all used to be a couple and it was brought on screen and then now everybody knows y'all are not a couple, y'all not dating, y'all are married, y'all married other people, things run a while in one of the places. But it's like now y'all on screen for what reason? Like that kind of thing is like the icky part. Is like yeah, like if I saw Andrade and Charlotte together on a in a segment, which probably would never happen, I would be like, this is weird. This is kind of those types of interactions get a little weird. So putting them together now when they're dating and they're not like married or anything, it could go awry.
I mean, let's wish the young couple the best at the end of the day, and
Yeah,
see.
I wish them nothing the best. I just don't like when they do that because it's like they work together really well, and then if it doesn't work out in their personal life, a lot of the times it don't work out professionally. And I'm like, I need you out to, you know,
I think we
it's one
lost.
thing to have chemistry behind the scenes and things fall apart and maybe, but once you bring it to the camera and everybody knows, it's a different story. Ladies and gentlemen, we're gonna go to the Wayback Machine, and I'm gonna go on to SmackDown. I want to say because I didn't say this last time. Boo! That is back to 3 hours. Boo! That is back to 3 hours. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we had Friday Night SmackDown on the 16th. It was episode 1378 on the USA Network. We had the undisputed WWE title number one contendership qualifying match where Randy Orton defeated The Miz. Am I shocked by that? No. Alexa Bliss and Charlotte Flair defeated Julia and Kiana James. We had the undisputed WWE title number one contendership qualifying match where Trick Williams defeated Matt Cardona. In another WWE title number one contendership qualifying match, Damian Priest defeated Solo Sikoa. For the WWE United States title match, Carmelo Hayes defeated Leon Slater. We had the introduction of Jordan Grace defeating Chelsea Green. And we had for the last qualifying match of the night, Sami Zayn defeating Ilya Dragunov. Did you see this, Jay News? And do you have any thoughts about this?
I thought they went about creating this number one contenders qualifying match thing in a creative way. So I'll give the creative team on SmackDown that. It seems that there's gonna be a fatal four way to crown the actual number one contender for the
Yes,
undisputed WWE title.
I
Right.
think
So
it's
it's
at
gonna
the
be
Royal Rumble. Yeah.
yeah. So it's gonna be Randy versus Trick versus Sammy versus Damian Priest. So we'll see as to who ends up being the number one contender there to end up facing Drew McIntyre probably at Elimination Chamber. So that's going to be interesting going forward with the guys who won their qualifying matches, and then also for the guys who lost their qualifying matches as to what they get into in the coming weeks and month before WrestleMania comes around. Alexa Bliss and Charlotte Flair, they're back on the winning side there on the women's tag side. Uh, Julia, even in defeat here, her just winning back that United States Championship and the team that she is with getting a loss is still kind of iffy booking for me. So I don't know. We'll see as to how that continues to go with WWE and Julia's booking. Mello and Leon Slater was a banger of a match. So that, I give all props to Carmelo Hayes and his shine as United States champion right now. And Leon Slater was brought on to the London SmackDown show as a TNA talent, but he was not.
I think your sound went out. Oh, J News, you froze.
It, se-
Oh no. There we go.
it seems like Leon Slater was brought on to SmackDown as a TNA talent, but he was not able to appear on TNA's debut episode on AMC Thursday night for whatever they said. They said that it was due to visa reasons. I have my doubts when it comes to that. So
Well, that's what
there's.
they were saying is that he. Okay, so this is what happened. He was there. I don't forgot where, because I heard somewhere that they initially, I think a indie show or somewhere, said that they thought he might not show up because of visa issues.
Mhm.
Then he did show up for visa issues for TNA, and when we talk about Genesis, he wasn't there, and so you know we got a swap. So that kind of made me think, okay, if this is three times that it's been mentioned in three different places, then maybe that was it. And then also WWE being more willing to swap a talent, even though it was, I mean, they swapped the talent. And also on when we get to TNA Genesis, they did mention Joe Hendry is now on the main roster, and they kind of wished him good luck and good greetings. So that's kind of, there were a lot of changes at TNA, and I was like, okay, this I can see some potential now. Ladies and gentlemen, we're gonna get on to the next company, and that's All Elite Wrestling AEW. We're gonna start off with Dynamite. Ladies and gentlemen, it was episode 328 on the 14th. Uh, Simulcasting on TBS, HBO Max. This episode was Maximum Carnage 2026, and this was the first day of it. We had Darby Allin defeating Pac, Adam Page defeating Brian Keith, Brody King defeating John Cruz in 37 seconds. He stomped that man out. AEW World Tag Team Title number one contendership four-way match. We had Davis and Doyle. Did I pronounce that right? Davis and
No, it's Doyle.
Doyle,
Doyle.
Doyle.
Mhm.
Jack Doyle and Mark Davis defeated GOA, Bishop Kong and Tolioa. Jet Speed of Kevin Knight and Mike Bailey, and the Young Bucks of Matt and Nick Jackson. We had the Triangle of Madness, Julia Hart, Sky Blue, and Thekla defeating the Babes of Wrath, Harley Cameron, and Willow Nightingale, along with Chris Statlander. And for the AEW World title match, we had MJF defeat Bandito by referee's decision. Jay News, did you see this, and what did you think?
Yeah, I thought it was a real good episode of Dynamite. Um, man, I don't even know what to say about Darby Allin anymore. There's just I'm gonna have to agree with something that Dave Meltzer said Thursday when he did his Wrestling Observer online stream. I think AEW is gonna have to step in and save Darby Allin from himself. The bumps that he's taken now, that German suplex into the steel steps thing was unnecessary, man. It just was. The match was what it was supposed to be. It was intense. It was hard hitting and things of that nature. But some of these bumps, man, um, yeah, just I'm not for it. Especially, I mean, specifically for TV and whatnot. And Darby's one of the better TV wrestlers that AEW has. But some of the stuff that he does is really unnecessary, man. So that gotta dial it back a bit when it's not a real big show or a pay-per-view and stuff like that, because that bump right there, it gave me an adverse physical reaction, and it was not a good one. I was more in fear of his health at that point than anything else. um, I get it, it's his body and he gets to do what he wants with it, man, but like, brother, you're gonna, if you want to live a long period of time, that there is not conducive to that. Adam Page and Brian Keith was a dope match between those two guys. Brody King, he's continuing his squash match run here as he continues to tally up wins. It seems like Brody King is going to be the next contender for MJF and the world title in the time being until they figure out the how they're going to face off the guys in the main event scene, that being Swerve, that being Hangman Page, that being Samoa Joe, and stuff like that. Until they get that together, MJF needs other and new opponents, and I think Brody King is next in line, being that he, by proxy, and is adjacent to Bandito. The tag team number one contendership four-way match, the winners were a surprise to me. Welcome surprise. It's a new team of Davis and Doyle. Those two big guys, man, they have a lot of energy and they kick a lot of ass. So getting to see them versus FTR in the near future, I think it's going to be a dope match. Tekla got the pin over Chris Statlander in the six-way women's match. So that's going to set up Tekla to get a shot at Chris Statlander's women's world championship within the near future. So we'll see how that develops from a storyline perspective there. And then the world title main event match was a great main event between MJF and Bandito. Even though most people feel and felt that Bandito was not going to win this match, they made you believe during the match that Bandito had a shot. Bandito ended up passing out from the Salt of the Earth submission armbar move there. He did not tap out or give up. So Bandito still has that good guy lore going with him here, but MJF got to retain his championship. So great episode of Dynamite, and with more things to come. I believe also during the episode of Dynamite there was a short video shown for the Rascals debuting on AEW TV, which we'll talk about coming up with Collision.
Yes, ladies and gentlemen, J News is going to come back in the back with me. And we're going to move over to the next company, which is Ring of Honor. Sorry if I got a lot of noise. Ring of Honor is episode 150 on the 15th on ROHWrestling.com or the app. We had the grizzled young veterans of James Drake and Zach Gibson defeat the Spanish Announce Project of Angelico and Serpentico. We had Lance Archer defeat Vin Parker. We had Shane Taylor defeat Kyron Gray. We had Aaron Solo, QT Marshall, and the Von Erichs of Marshall and Ross Von Erich defeat the frat house of Cole Carter, Griff Garrison, Jack Jameson, and Preston Vance. And we had the infantry of Charlie Bravo, Sean Dean, and Trisha Dore defeat the MXM TV, Mansour and Mason, along with Tara Valkyrie. We had ROH Women's Television title proving ground match where Red Velvet defeated Robin Renegade. And last but not least, the swirl of Blake Christian and Lee Johnson defeating the Dark Order. I don't know what's going on over here on ROH J News, but somebody ought to have some tea on Tony Khan, because ain't no way the frat house and the Dark Order still out here.
No, I mean they're part of the ROH roster at the end of the day. You know, they're used basically as enhancement talent for the time being, and they have their character pieces that they use either in backstage segments or pre-taped video segments and stuff like that. They're characters on the TV show. So at the end of the day, it's not everybody's going to be of massive prominence on TV. You always need.
It's not them not being on massive prominence. It's the fact that I don't go against people not having a job, but at a certain point, if you haven't improved whatsoever, you kind of stuck in the same place doing the same thing, and you at this point you're becoming jobbers. Either you need to give them the proper training, or let them go and maybe find a way to figure that out.
Sure. Yeah. That's always an option at the end of the day. I've always wanted to see more out of the boys in the frat house specifically. that being the younger guys of Cole Carter and Griff Garrison and Preston Vance. I don't think there's been much growth there with those three guys. So they can definitely take their talents on to the indies or elsewhere, whatever the case is, and see if they can apply their trade. Um, so there's that about it. Um, who else was on here? I think that QT Marshall and Aaron Solo kind of fall within that same range, and the guys from the Dark Order as well. The Dark Order not so much. I feel like if they had characters that people were more invested in, the fans were more invested in, that they would be fine, because from a wrestling standpoint, all the guys from the Dark Order are actually pretty good. I'm just more or less trying to figure out from a storyline and character standpoint where they can take those guys. But definitely, the Aaron Solos, the Von Erichs for sure need a lot more reps in the ring, and need to find out where their characters lie. They have that family lineage, but that lineage of where their family comes from and where they were big at, wrestling was that style of wrestling isn't prominent in the 2020s currently. So finding what their niche is going to be something that they're going to have to dig deep for, and things of that nature. And outside of that, for ROH TV, it was good to see Robin Renegade back on ROH. I hadn't seen her in quite some time, so it was a decent proving ground match between her and Red Velvet. And then the leading storyline right now with ROH is what Jay Lethal's betrayal, him turning heel and aligning himself with the Swirl. So we'll see as to how that goes and where it goes in the coming weeks and months.
Yes. So now we're going to go back to the back. Yes, we are. And we're going to go on to what happened yesterday, which was Collision. We had Collision episode 128 on the 17th. It was Maximum Carnage Part 2. We had the AEW World's Trios title, sorry, tongue tied. Adam Page and Jet Speed defeated the Ops to have the title change. We had Andrade El Idolo defeat Angelico. We had Eddie Kingston and Ortiz defeat the grizzled young veterans of James Drake and Zach Gibson. We had Mina Shafir defeat Zeta Steele. We had the Don Collins family of El Colon, Josh Alexander, Kyle Fletcher defeat the Sky Flight of Dante and Darius Martin along with Scorpio Sky. Megan Bain and Penelope Ford defeated Daniela Camila and Viva Van. And for the AEW National title #1 contendership match, Jack Perry defeated Anthony Bowens. J News, did you see this? And what did you think?
Yeah, it was another solid episode of Collision that aired yesterday. Andrade looked real good versus Angelico. I'm a big fan of Angelico, have been since his days on Lucha Underground. I feel like he could be used in a different way outside of him being basically enhancement talent. He did look good in the match here against Andrade, even though Andrade was basically ragdolling him the majority of the time and taking advantage. But Angelico did a good job of selling for Andrade and taking those high impact moves only in the way that only he can. So good re-debut match for Andrade back on Collision. Eddie and Ortiz, they look good. This was a very, very good tag team match versus the GYV. I have always been and will continue to be a big proponent of the GYV, the grizzled young veterans, James Drake and Zach Gibson. They made Eddie Kingston and Ortiz look like superstars in that match. Really good tag match. Marina Shafir, she just beat the crap out of Zeta Steele. Zeta Steele doing her best to bump around and take all those stiff hits from Marina Shafir. That mother's milk, man, is something else. That Marina Shafir finisher is something else. So I gotta give credit where credit is due. I think Marina Shafir has done a great job in the last year, really increasing her stock and making herself out to be not making herself out to be a standout amongst the women's division and herself as a member of the DCF. Not the DCF, I'm sorry, the Death Riders. Zeta Steel got her official AEW All Elite graphic online yesterday. She is now officially a part of AEW. She is All Elite. So congratulations to her. On the side, we got the on-screen debut of the Rascals. Only 3 of the 4, even though all 4 are signed. So the Rascals are Desmond Xavier, Myron Reed, Zachary Wentz, and Trey Miguel. But only during the backstage segment with Big Bill's wife, with Lexi, you only saw Dez, Zach, and Myron coming out of their their smoke chamber there, and they cut a very solid and fluid promo. So we'll be seeing them going forward, because there was another promo cut during the night, but by the members of Crew, that be Leo Rush, Action Andretti, and Lacey Lane. So it seems like the members of Crew will be the ones to have the first match for the guys from the Rascals, and that'll be a tag match. The DCF match versus Skyflight, that match was really used to build up this newfound feud between the Don Callis family and the Death Riders, because they went at it before the match actually started. That was a whole thing there. But the Don Callis family ended up beating the Skyflight team, and Skyflight looked great in this match as well. Once the match began, Josh Alexander and El Clone really stood out to me from the DCF here. This is Kyle Fletcher's first match back since losing the semifinal match at World's End for the Continental Classic. So we'll see as to where Kyle Fletcher goes on into 2026. Megan Bain and Penelope Ford teaming for the first time in a while. Penelope finally got cleared physically after her UCL sprain. They look good. It was more of a squash match versus Danielle Camella and Viva Van. Nice to see Viva Van on TV. She's been a contracted AEW talent for a while now. I hadn't seen her on ROH for a while, and for her to be booked on AEW TV was a positive for me. So hopefully the AEW is able to do something with Viva Van in the year 2026. But Megan and Penelope looked good, and by the end, when the match was over, it seemed like Marina Shafir is going to be taking their team under her wing. So we'll see as to how that projects going forward. Jack Perry defeated Anthony Bowens in what was Anthony Bowens' best singles match in quite some time. Ricochet was at commentary during this match because this is for the number 1 contendership for the national title. After Jack won, he jumped Ricochet at commentary and things of that nature. So their feud continues. And the trios match between Adam Page, Jet Speed, and the Ops was the main event of the show. Adam Page and Jet Speed beating the Ops was a foregone conclusion due to the fact that during the week, news came out that Powerhouse Will Hobbs was finishing his contract up on Wednesday night with All Elite Wrestling. Seems that he will be making his way to the WWE in the not so distant future. All luck and positive energy to Will Hobbs. Hopefully he gets to do what he wants to do with his wrestling career as he heads towards the WWE. But a solid and good match between the Ops and Adam Page and Jet Speed. Kevin Knight got the roll up on Powerhouse Hobbs, as Powerhouse Hobbs, the good dude that I've always heard him to be, did business, and he got pinned by Kevin Knight. And we got new AEW World Trios champions there in the main event. And that was Collision.
Yes, ladies and gentlemen. Now we're on to something that they had newness. They turned over a new leaf. So we're talking about them twice. J News, come on back in the back with me. It is TNA Wrestling, ladies and gentlemen. But guess what I'm about to tell you? TNA, it ain't on Access TV. Oh my God, no AMC. I went from rock and roll to country. Okay. So TNA Thursday Night Impact, and it was episode 1121, was on the 15th on AMC, ladies and gentlemen. We had Elijah and the Hardys of Jeff and Matt Hardy defeat Order of 4 of Jason Hodge, John Schuyler, Mustafa Ali. We had the TNA Knockouts World Tag Team Title match with the Elegance brand. Let me say that again. The Elegance brand. I don't like none of them. Heather by Elegance and M by Elegance. Uh I'm sorry. This is beyond crazy. Uh Defeated the inspiration of Cassie Lee and Jesse McKay for the title. If you all know, they had the Army and the Navy out there with the Elegance brand, and nobody should have been out there. TNA World Title match. Mike Santana. I want to say Mike Santana defeated Frankie Kazarian in the title change. So, JD, did you see this fresh new start from TNA?
I did not see this. As folks might know who watch the Hit the Ropes podcast or listen to the Hit the Ropes podcast on a regular basis, I am not a fan of TNA. Haven't been in quite some time. And from what I gathered via the online community and all the different news sites and things of that nature, this show did not go off very well.
It did that. I tried to come in with a positive mind frame. Because if you all do not know, I got AMC, I got every channel, every wrestling, every streaming service there is in the name of God. And I was like, oh, this might be a little bit better. I mean, because Access didn't seem like they fit. I mean, you out there with rock and roll and all the rest, it just didn't seem like they fit. This seems more like Suburban Mom, Fun, AMC. They're like very country. And it seemed like it was a better fit, but it didn't go out well. And then when we talk about what happened, the next thing that didn't go out well.
Yeah,
Okay.
just wanted to mention that the ladies from the Inspiration, it was also brought to light that they finished up their TNA contracts this week as well, and they have officially left TNA. So it will be interesting to see as to where the ladies from the Inspiration end up. Being that both WWE and AEW have a need for more women's tag teams, so we'll see as to where they end up. They are done with TNA for the time being.
They, from a report, allegedly, Sean said that people thought they were going to AEW, but it was immediately told that they don't think that's happening. I don't know if it's because of the bad blood that AEW kind of rubbed Sean Spears the wrong way. So that also takes in effect of where they might be going next. So they might come back to WWE. They had their best moments in WWE.
Yeah.
And so I think that might be, and they're under new regime. So maybe they got a better shot at staying a little bit longer. Even with Chelsea leaving and going around the world and she's had some better moments of recently of holding the title in this new character that she had came up with. Even working AAA. Now I think we really haven't gotten into it. AAA is now getting new people. As we saw Santos Escobar appear yesterday. So they are now using people within all three brands. And they're calling up new people from NXT. They're trying to incorporate new people from NXT. And even with the speed stuff that they were doing, they're trying to test people and okay, if you do good on this, then you can come to this. And if you do good on this, then you can come to this and just kind of like climb up the ladder, which I appreciate, but I don't appreciate that like sometimes I feel like you have to scratch and claw to get to the top. And then once you get to the top, as soon as the wind blows, you're back down to the bottom as quick as you came up. Like it's like I look at, I hate to say it, LA Knight. LA Knight gets to the top, just fanfare and everything, and then all of a sudden, you know, he rubs a couple of people. I mean, he rubbed a couple of people the wrong way, and it seemed like he back down at the bottom trying to fight back to the top. Jey Uso the same way, but I also can understand why Jey Uso lost his title, his single individual title, because the man be getting gassed. It ain't 5 minutes in the show, in the match, and he gassed before he even get to the ring by just doing his little, his little dance and come walking down the steps. He gassed, which I can understand. And somebody, listen, I can't walk a flight of steps like that. I listen, but you expect from a wrestler for them to have some kind of cardio, and then they talked about it in the, was it Untold or Told, whatever show they have, which is coming back on the 28th. And I don't know if you saw the trailer for it, J News, where they talk about how R-Truth got fired. They also cut to, like, shortly after they start talking about it, to a scene where Naomi's like, we left for many reasons. That wasn't the only reason. And then she's like, and I can tell you, and then they cut it off. So it's like, I don't know if she's gonna completely tell or she's gonna hint around of why they truly left, because they made it clear what it wasn't, but not what it was. So I think, even looking forward to that, they're giving people outs. I don't know if you saw Jade. She interviewed, see, the ghetto came out. Interviewed Matt Damon and Ben, I forgot his name, for the new movie they had. And she did really good, and people were receptive in the chat. It's like, okay, now they're giving opportunities to people. You can tangibly see people getting opportunities to get into entertainment, get into other things that also will bring people to come in and want to work with your company. You might not be booked well for WWE. I don't think anybody really is doing, other than AEW, consistently good booking. But that's another story. Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to go back. Come here, Jay News is going to tell you about Genesis. Ladies and gentlemen, I had the wonderful thing of watching two things yesterday. Genesis came on yesterday. First was the countdown show that appeared on YouTube, and where we had the TNA International Title 4-way match. Channing Lorenzo defeated BDE, Eric Young, and KJ Orso. We had Mila Moore and TB, because she make me sick, defeat Indy Hartwell and Vicky. That's J News word.
No, say it out.
Venuto.
That's right.
Listen, I'm gonna be fully Spanish by the end of the year. Okay, J News. I pick up a little bit, but I ain't got a lot. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we go on to the main show, which you could have found on any pay-per-view provider or Triller TV, because now they've combined with them. This is J News. You remember back in the day when it was like you get the app and you can watch the pay-per-views, or if you pay for the pay-per-views, maybe like $20 or something. That pay-per-view was almost $40. And then if you got the app, you still had to pay almost $40. I was like, you ain't got to worry about me, TNA, watching your stuff like this anymore. We had AJ Francis, boo, defeat Rich Swann. We had Mustafa Ali defeat Elijah. We had Eddie Edwards defeat JDC. Ryan Nemeth defeated Marseille. We had TNA Knockouts World Title match where Li Ying Lee defeated Zarya. We had the TNA World Tag Team title match where the Hardys of Jeff and Matt Hardy defeated the Righteous of Dutch and Vincent. We had Joe Hendry, the replacement, defeat Cedric Alexander and Boost, because Leon Stallion was supposed to be there. TNA World Title Texas Death Match with special referee Nick Nemeth. Mike Santana kept his championship by defeating Frankie Kazarian. I'm assuming you didn't watch any of this, J News. You did?
No, I didn't. No.
I could say from personal experience, it was a better hot mess experience. Okay, it was a better hot mess. because, but it started out with a countdown. You had Tommy Dreamer. It wasn't Sam Roberts. I forgot the dude's name. And the lady that does the commentary with them, and then they had Heather by, the one girl who used to be in WWE. Um, that was a trash. I knew it was gonna be trash because every time they kept coming to them, everybody had this collective thing that they said, and I forgot the girl's name. J News, is it Heather? She used to be in WWE. Heather by Elegance.
No, that's she's Ash by Elegance.
Ash.
Mhm.
I should know because I call her Ash. Ash by Elegance was on the panel. Every time they come to her, she got a lollipop. She got a finger in her mouth. She's like, they talk about the match with Moose, and she's like, even though I believe in Joe Hendry, I've seen the pics online of Moose, and he's working out. He's getting tan. And I'm like, come on, sis, stop this. Somebody, and they would cut the type of dreamer, and his face looking at her down the other way was like, you don't shut the up right now. And I was just like, make a pick. She couldn't just make a pick. And she would just be like, I understand Zaria's coming, but I think, and I'm like, this is crazy. This is, her character wasn't half as bad as her on the doggone counter. At that moment, I realized, because even the dude, I don't forgot the dude's name, bald headed, sitting next to her, even as she's talking, he's turning around looking at her like, are you crazy? What's wrong with you? And I'm thinking to myself, it can't get no worse. Okay, I've suffered through this countdown. And I countdown I only had 2 matches, but it seemed like the countdown was an hour long. Okay. Then I get on to the main pay-per-view. We start out with a man who I don't like anyway. Okay. But it was a okay match. Okay. It could have been better. And as we kept going, I kept noticing this is wild. Even the thing that they did with Santino and, again, brain fart, homegirl who used to be with WWE, not Daria. She came to WWE. Her house was broken into. Uh, they had a segment where you remember in WWE, she used to be the general manager, and they had after the initial match that he had set up for the pre-show, she comes on and goes, you don't know what you're doing. The Channing Lorenzo one with his daughter. She says, you don't know what you're doing. You just made this out of spite. So you need to know how to run this better. And I'm like, are you coming in as a general manager again? Or are you coming in to wrestle? Because I've seen 2 segments where you giving your opinions on wrestling as a general manager almost. That confused me. I think this whole pay-per-view was confusing. They had BDE come out as the like social media superstar and sign. They were supposed to be doing this cool thing where he signs his name on a fake plexiglass that's on the camera. Even commentary pointed out BDE writes his name backwards so you can see it correctly on the camera. So he's writing it backwards. He gives the camera a kiss. Do you realize that they did not show that camera angle? What's the purpose of you doing it? We saw from the side him writing it out, him doing it. They didn't show none of that. I was like, so this is like a janky thing. Like it's like when you want to record somebody's wedding and you like instead of hiring a photographer, you hire somebody to hold up their phone and do it. J News, I was so disappointed because I thought with new talent coming in, even Elena Black being there, like y'all were gonna step up and show us that okay, we done got to the next level. We gonna take this a little further, and they did not. They did not. But we'll see it in the times coming in the future. But at this point, I don't have any true hope. And I think a lot of people are still gonna leave TNA. Going back to the back after my eyes were chopped off at that point. I went to my favorite place to go after I was horrified by TNA J News. I went to GCW, Game Changer Wrestling, Code of the Streets. Okay, it was on yesterday. Okay, it was on yesterday. Um, Code of the Streets. Oh wait a minute, all the things ain't on there. Oh, I'm so sad. But we had a Jersey J Cup qualifying 7-way scramble match. Uh, Oro defeated West, Bobby Flacco, Gavin Ash, Jimmy Lloyd, Max Heights, and see, listen, Jay knows I can't with these words at this point. Vendor. I can also pause. I just found out something. If you all do not know, I'm interested in reviews and I like to listen to reviews. I've been sick, J News, and so since I've been sick, I've been listening to people reviews over sick products to take. And today I ordered some uh, candy apple, candy apple uh, cough drops. Okay, only because I've seen it. I've been watching people review this. Okay, and then once I saw I was at a hood reviewer review some sick products here in Georgia. He did CVS review. I said I gotta get them J News, and I'm over here eating cough drops. I haven't got those yet, but the barking is real, y'all. So sorry if I'm a little tired up. Okay. So we had Shotzi Blackheart defeat Emerson Jane. Uh Samurai Del Sol defeated Gringo Loco. Brick Savage defeated Thomas Shire. KJ Orso defeated Effie. Yes, he wrestled twice in the same night. Jordan Oliver defeated Teriyaki. We had the GCW World Title match where Atticus Cougar defeated one called Manders. Megan Bain defeated Priscilla Kelly. Good match. Go back and watch it. And for the GCW Ultraviolet title match, Matt Tremont lost his title to Otis Cougar. Otis. Okay. So, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to go on to, y'all already know what time is it. What time is it? It's time for preview time, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to start off with GCW, okay? Because after I leave here, I got some editing to do for a friend, but then I got to get on to GCW. And guess what? It's time for Crime Wave, ladies and gentlemen. Crime Wave 2026 is happening tonight. Ladies and gentlemen, we have Samurai Del Sol versus Vendor. Listen, Vendor. Maybe a J News word. I don't know. I'm not fighting it today. We had Oro versus Jordan Oliver. Shotzi Blackheart versus KJ Orso. And for the GCW World Title match, Atticus Cougar versus Priscilla Kelly. I can't wait. Ladies and gentlemen, you already know what time it is. Y'all came for the silky smooth time of the day. And it's time for J News on New Japan Pro Wrestling.
Yeah, so New Japan's on the road to new beginning. New on the today the 7th, the 18th, should I say. So the matches that were scheduled for the Blue Justice show, the 17th annual Blue Justice produced show, celebrating Yuji Nagata's career. We had Katsuya Murashima, Master Wato, and Yo versus the Unbound Ko of Daiki Nagai. Oscar and Yuto Ice, El Desperado, Masatori Yasuda, and Ryusuke Taguchi are going to go up against the House of Torture members of Doki Sho and Yoshinobu Kanemaru. Bishima members Hiroki Goto and Yoshihashi, along with Tatsuya Matsumoto, will go off against Team DK members Hartley Jackson, Ryohei Oiwa, and Zack Sabre Jr., who are currently the openweight 6-man tag team champions. Shoma Kato, Shota Umino, and Yoyo Uemura. They'll be going up against Team 150 of Satoshi Kojima, Tai Chi, and Tomohiro Ishii. United Empire's Callum Newman, Francisco Akira, Great Khan, Jake Lee, and Jacob Boston Young will go up against the Unbound Co's Gato, Hiromu Takahashi, Shingo Takagi, Taiji Ishimori, and Yota Tsuji. And then the main event of the night is going to be Aaron Wolf, Only Bolton, Toriano, and Yuji Nagata going up against House of Torture members Dick Togo, Evil Ren Narita, and Yujiro Takahashi. We have the New Beginning shows starting on the 19th. The Road 2 shows. That'll be tomorrow, Monday. We have the Young Lion Cup starting back up for the first time in a while. We're going to have Masatori Yasuda versus Tatsuya Matsumoto, and Zane J versus Daiki Nagai in the first round of the Young Lion Cup. Then we have more tag team action. Aaron Wolf, El Desperado, Master Wato, Toriano, and Yo go up against House of Torture members Dick Togo, Doki, Evil, Ren Narita, and Yujiro Takahashi. United Empire's Callum Newman, Francisco Akira, Great Khan, Jake Lee, and Jacob Boston Young going up against the Unbound Co, Gato, Hiromu Takahashi, Shingo Takagi, Taiji Ishimori, and Yota Tsuji. We'll have a special one-on-one matchup with Sho versus Kosei Fujita. Yoshida Bukanamaru will go one-on-one versus Robbie Eagles. For the never open weight 6-man tag team title match, we're going to have TMDK, the champions, Hartley Jackson, Ryohei Oiwa, and Zack Sabre Jr. They're going to go up against Bishimon's Hiroki Goto and Yoshihashi along with Oleg Bolton. And then we're going to have an IWGP tag team title number 1 contendership match, which will have Taichi and Tomohiro Ishii go up against Shota Umino and Yuya Uemura.
Yes, ladies and gentlemen. And guess what? J News has one more day.
You're going to have one more of the Road to New Beginning shows on Tuesday, the 20th. Continuation of the Young Lion Cup. It'll be the semifinals. It'll be Shomakato versus whoever the winner of the Zane J match was from the previous night. And then Katsuya Murashima versus whoever the winner of the first match from the night before was. We're then going to have the IWGP Junior Heavyweight Tag Team title match. The Ichiman Sweet Boys, of course, Kosei Fujita and Robbie Eagles are going to go up against House of Torture members Sho and Yoshinobu Kanemaru. And then we're going to have the IWGP Junior Heavyweight title match of Doki versus El Desperado.
Yes, ladies and gentlemen, when I thought about it, I was like, I really don't have a spotlight. I'm not sure Jalen got a spotlight, but I found one, okay? We already know spotlight, and the spotlight is very important, and it has to do with tomorrow. I come from the great state of Georgia, and we revere this man with all our hearts, and so do most of America and the world. My spotlight of the week, because tomorrow is Martin Luther King Day. Martin Luther King, ladies and gentlemen. As a young African American girl, especially living here in the state of Georgia, his impact has not been just a small ripple, but it has affected and touched people around the world. And I'm very appreciative of him having a dream, because listen, I don't think I could do the things that I do or be the person I am without all the things that he has done for us, not only as a nation, a people, but also as an African American person. Okay? So I hope you stay safe tomorrow. I hope you continue to work on your dreams and your hopes. And I hope you do whatever you feel is best for you in 2026. Okay? Hey, News, you got anything to say?
Man, what do I have to say? For all intents and purposes, I feel like due to the work and shift in culture that the great Dr. Martin Luther King was able to help and create and push forward and things of that nature, folks across America specifically and the world at large have been able to benefit from his acts and from his thought process and thinking of just bringing people from different walks of life together and trying to eradicate discrimination due to skin color and where people are from as a whole. So I think a lot of the world wouldn't be where it is today without his teachings, his words, his thought process, his philosophy in life, and things of that nature. Outside of his personal life, folks, let's not go there. But at the end of the day, I think that Dr. King has always been a very prolific and iconic figure in not only U.S. history but world history at large, and the message that he wanted to spread and things of that nature. So definitely a very suitable and poignant spotlight for the time, and tomorrow being Martin Luther King Day here in the States.
Yes, because if you've grown up in Georgia, you have been in his childhood home. I have been to the Martin Luther King Center. I have been to Ebenezer. So it's like here, I mean, for us, those are like regular field trips as you're a kid. So learning these things and coming from Georgia to learn it, somebody who comes from a place I come from could make such a big impact on a whole millions and billions of people is so astounding. And it's great to see that he has a day where people can, appreciate him and show him love. And so again, spotlight to Martin Luther King, because also it has to do with wrestling. Listen, without him having a dream, you think we would have people like Jade or the other African American wrestlers we have out here being able to wrestle and work and be productive people in society and make money like they do? You wouldn't. So okay, let's go back to the studio. Okay, J News, I'm gonna go ahead. I ain't got no kind of rap for you today. I ain't got no kind of chat GPT for you today because girl will fight for her life. Listen, ladies and gentlemen, I do want to tell you about a few people. Uh First of all, let's go over. This will be probably the last time you see this, but hi, I'm Delores from Delores Designs. Reason I say it's last because I've changed my channel over. This is no longer my logo. Okay. When I change it changes, I just have to upload it. Uh so if you need to get in touch with me, this is how you get in touch with me. Okay. I will be putting up the booking site. I will be putting up my website soon. Okay. It's just gonna be the landing page for right now. But when that comes up, that's also need to be updated on the business card. So we go do all of those things. You saying, Dolores, hey, the QR code too small. I'm like, hey, I got you. I got you. See that right there, right there, right there, right there? Yeah, scan that QR code. Also, for those who don't know, make sure you check out the women's closet. I enjoy every moment. I'm in there with 10 and some other women. Theeducatednatural.com/women is how you sign up. Also, 10 has a wonderful website, theeducatednatural.com, where you can find many things. Listen, you want to be on the ground floor for when she's making things moves like her master classes and other things. She builds websites. She does so many things. Make sure you check her out. Also, I have to update it, but I'm gonna tell you from this one. Miss Joy doesn't come on at 9:05 anymore. She comes on at 10. 10 and 7. Okay. But Mondays is crafting, Thursdays is prayer. Make sure you go over there and check her out because we're doing this thing for decluttering, decluttering, destashing, and disposing, where she is helping you get yourself together the new year. Okay. Also, ladies and gentlemen, Miss Shirley OG Gardner, she come on every Thursday, 7 p.m. We be having fun over there. If y'all ain't came over there and danced with the music, had a good old time over there with us, we have very productive conversations where we learn, laugh, and just fellowship and get together with each other. Ladies and gentlemen, if you ain't never been over to the Workhorse Wrestling Network, gallop on over there, okay? Because over there we partying, we having a good time. And then Tuesday we also doing the second part of the awards. It'll be the gold edition, okay? If you haven't had fun over there, we laugh and we dance, and we also partying with music over there. It's all changed over, so we got a new Workhorse Wrestling Network in a 2026, okay? Also, check out Slim Jim Longfoot. This is his personal socials where you can connect to him from his YouTube channels to everything else. But if you really want to just get the books that him and Johnny Quest Gaming make,
Well, folks, I think it's my go. I lost Dolores's audio a couple of minutes ago, so I'm not too sure as to what's going on. But I do see my QR code up on the screen. That is a QR code. It has my socials on there. You can catch me on the Twitter machine. You can catch me on Instagram if y'all like. You can also on the QR code. Linktree is my linked, not my linked, my Letterboxd account, which gives you the rundown of all the different movies that I review for the month of January specifically, folks. I'm taking some downtime. I'm not writing any reviews. I'm not as I stated before, maybe a couple of months ago. I haven't been doing the audio podcast for my movie reviews either. Just taking some downtime to do some different things and just looking for work and things of that nature as well. From a personal standpoint and all that jazz. So if you want to read some reviews on the majority of the movies that came out in 2025, at least, you can go through my Letterboxd account there and read my reviews on the movies that I've watched throughout 2025. I've watched my fair share of movies so far here in the month of January as well. But like I stated, I haven't been writing any reviews as of late. You can always ask me via social media and stuff like that what my thoughts and feelings on certain films are if you'd like, going through the QR code there. But I should be back to writing my reviews in the month of February and things of that nature. So stay tuned on there as well. And I'll be back here next Sunday with Delores to do another edition of the Hit the Ropes podcast. You'll see me probably within the next week or two get back onto True Heel Heat, doing some previews and reviews of the New Japan Pro Wrestling New Beginning show and whatever else is coming up on that end of the spectrum as well. So, yeah, stay tuned, if you will.
Yeah, I'm sorry I went out. What happened was, J News, is that J News normally knows I have this one. Let me put it up there. This one. I have this one. But as we all know, I'm a pink girl, and so I bought that one. And they don't like the black one. I can wake up in the morning and just plug it up, and I've done podcasts on 2 or 3 times, and it'd be fine. This one, I got up this morning and plugged it up, and it was like, no, we need a little longer charge time. And so when I looked down, I was like, I don't see the light. But yeah. So sorry about that, you all. But you know, I'm a pink girl. I gotta keep it pink all the way. But ladies and gentlemen, just like I'm trying to get my voice together so I can give it to y'all like I normally do. Tears are welling up in my eyes. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we have had a good time today, but I have to do what I normally do, and I normally have to act the fool. Ladies and gentlemen, women, men, children, them, they, whatever you feel like being today, I'm going to tell you, we burn this thing down, okay? Smoke, fire, it was just great. But you know what, baby boy, baby girl, please keep your clothes on. Because you know what? I got something. J. Lou's got something that can help you in your time of need. And that's if I cut the lights off. Listen, don't be turning no fire on. I don't need to be starting this fire again, okay? But me and J. Lou, we'll be back. 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We'll be here on the Hit the Ropes podcast, talking to you, having fun with you. So make sure you come back. Also, make sure you go over there and check out J. Lou's channel, okay? Make sure you go over there and subscribe. We're trying to get J News in this social media thing, okay? You gotta give him a little encouragement, a little bit of love. We done got him to 18, y'all. Now we can get him a little higher now. Listen, if I can make it past 500, J News can make it to 1,000. Until then, me and J News will say, peace.